Hello viewers, welcome back. So this is part 4 of our series of session on F12 configuration for vouchers. So we have been seeing the F12 configuration for payment voucher, and like I mentioned in the previous session that even in receipt voucher there are common configurations as we saw the configuration in the payment voucher also. So let us complete a couple of more simple configuration for payment voucher, and we will also see what is the impact of the configuration that we provide for these options. Let us go to payment voucher. So I press V for voucher. We are in the payment voucher. Okay, let me press F12 configure. In the previous session, we saw a couple of options of show list for bill for selection, and also we understood the option of show final balance for each bill. Now let us go to the next option, which is use default bank allocation. By default, this option is going to be no, and if it is no, what happens? Let us see. Okay, so we will leave this as no. I press Ctrl A. Let's say I'm going to make a payment to my supplier. Okay, I'm going to select the party global distributors. So when I say against reference, it is giving me the list of bills. So I'm going to select a particular bill. Okay, I enter. So I say end of list. So I'm selecting the bank account, HDFC account. The moment the cursor comes to the amount column, when you press enter, now you will get this bank allocation screen. Okay, so generally this is going to be very useful when you are enabling the banking feature in Tally, which we will cover as a separate session at a later stage. So this screen will appear. Now in case some of you, if you don't want this subscreen to be coming every time, so normally when this subscreen comes, what would you do? So you will be pressing enter, or you will press Ctrl A, and every time this subscreen is going to keep opening. Now if you don't want this subscreen to be opened, once you select the bank account, then what you need to do is you will have to press F12 configuration and make this option use default bank allocation, make this as yes. Okay, and you press Ctrl A. Okay, now let us come back. We can come back here, and now once the cursor is in the amount column of the bank ledger, when I press enter, you will notice that the subscreen is not opening now. Okay, so come back again. I press F12 configuration. I say no, enter, Ctrl A, enter. The subscreen is opening. I'm going to press backspace, press F12 configuration, say yes, Ctrl A, enter, and the subscreen is not going to open. So this is where this option of enabling the use default bank allocation, if you set it as yes, the subscreen will not open. Now rest of the options that we are seeing here are related to banking module. So we will cover this in detail when we cover the banking module, each and every configuration of the master configuration for bank account, and also the configuration for voucher, which is your payment voucher, receipt voucher, we will discuss in detail. Let me save this voucher. Accept, the voucher is saved. Now let us explore the show more configuration and see what are the other configurations which are available for payment voucher. So you go to press F12 configure, and if you see here, by default this is going to be no. So you come here and then you say Y for S, and you will notice more configurations being displayed here. So let us take one configuration now in this session. So if you see here, we have this option called skip date field during voucher entry. This is the additional option which you get when you enable show more configuration. So how does this help? Now, if you see here, this option is set to no. So if it is no, what happens? Let us see. I come here. Now I come to my, let's come back here. So I come to my voucher entry, and you will notice here that my cursor is landing on the date field. Okay. Now, how does this option help? Skip the date field during voucher creation. If you make this as yes, okay, Control A, and let us see what happens. Let's come back to voucher entry screen again. I go to voucher payment, and you will notice here the cursor is not landing on the date field, but it is going to the next field, which is the configuration that we have enabled for supplier invoice or reference number and the date. Okay. Now, why do you need this? Okay. Let us say on a daily basis, you are going to make lot of entries for a given date. Now, every time when you save a particular voucher, the cursor will automatically go to the date field, and then you need to press enter again to come to the next field. So in such situation, if you want to skip the date field, then come to the next field, you can enable this option called skip the date field during the voucher entry. So you can make this as yes. Now, once you have made this as yes, you notice that the voucher is not going to the date field. Now, just in case you want to change the date, how are you going to change the date? Very simple. If you see on the right hand side, remember our secret number 1, there is this option called F2 date, and if you notice here, the current date for the payment voucher is 15th of January, and now I'm going to press F2, and automatically Tally will auto populate the next date. So all you need to do is just enter and accept, the date will change. Okay. If you are going to make any backdated entry, and if the dates field is getting skipped, you have two options. One is that you go to F12 configuration, and then you can configure this, and it's a one-time configuration. You can configure this and make this as no, so that every time the cursor will go to the date field. Okay. If this is yes, and if the dates field is skipping, you have to just press F2, and by default it is taking you to the next date. You can go and manually enter whichever date for which you want to make the payment entry. In the next session, we will explore couple of more configuration options. I hope this session would have helped you in understanding how to configure these options, when to configure, and how you can leverage this configurations. So in the next session, we will see a couple of more options for the voucher configuration. So thank you all once again for staying till the end. See you all in the next session. Thank you very much.